Hello everybody. Today we're bringing a video to you to kind of clear up some breathing room between the arguments that I've been seeing on Twitter and other social media between like an OG Mac head and a Mac head that might have just hopped on the train like recently. We're all supporting the same person who unfortunately isn't with us. We all loved him dearly, and it doesn't make a difference between, if you listened to him 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 2 years ago, or just yesterday. If you love Mac, you love Mac. And so today we're making a video to kind of walk you through the timeline of all his different projects. So some of you might not have heard his older projects, his older mixtapes, his first mixtapes. So today I'm going to share with you guys my favorite tracks off of each of his projects. Reviewing all Mac's tracks is a very difficult process. This will probably be the first video of a multiple video series that we're going to go back and talk about the other albums, other projects. The first project Mac ever put out was Easy Mac. Wasn't even Mac Miller. My favorite song off that's probably Cruisin'. Cruisin' is kind of just like, hey, you're about to hop in the whip and cruise around Pittsburgh and smoke some blunts or something. So that's kind of like a young Mac vibe before he was even Mac Miller. Definitely a good song. There's some goofy tracks off Easy Mac to check out if you haven't checked it out. The second mixtape he put out was The Jukebox. 22 song, I believe, track list. My favorite song off that would probably be So Far to Go. So Far to Go, it's like Mac knew that he had like a bright sense of future in the hip-hop game, and he was falling in love with the hip-hop game and like really expressing himself with a nice flow of himself growing on all the tracks on the mixtape. The next project he put out was The High Life. And I think The High Life, the first song I heard from Mac, and my favorite song off the tape was Live Free. And Live Free is just like a great, positive, happy, free-flowing song that Mac was really reminding us, really how to live. Live free, like be yourself. Don't kind of try to put yourself in a position to be somebody or something that you are not. Definitely my favorite song off the mixtape. After that, he dropped Kids. Kids was so many great tracks off Kids. Probably would have to say my favorite track off the Kids is probably Senior Skip Day. It's just creating, that was like the whole vibe of like almost like your high school time of just like Senior Skip Day. You don't want to do anything, and just like another ambient, free-flowing song that was fun to listen to all the time. After Kids, he dropped Best Day Ever. Another great mixtape, great tracks on the whole project. Favorite song off Best Day Ever would have to be the BDE bonus, just because the ambient intro into the Best Day Ever track, and starting the mixtape with Best Day Ever and still ending the mixtape with Best Day Ever, and you can really just feel like another growth track of Mac through the process of his musical journey. After Best Day Ever, he dropped his first studio album, which was great, Blue Slide Park. Hit #1, one of, as an independent artist, it's huge, for anybody, especially, Mac. Favorite song off Blue Slide Park would probably have to be Of the Soul. Of the Soul was, like a track, as he says at the beginning, that he sat down, first time I wrote a song on paper, to be in Mac's mind, to really sit down and lay out a lyrical track. A lot of good metaphors and another really good soulful track that Mac expressed. After Blue Slide Park, he dropped I Love Life, Thank You. Another like mixtape of just like throwaway tracks that didn't make other projects, but that were still phenomenal songs to listen to and enjoy. Favorite song off of I Love Life, Thank You would probably be The Scoop on Heaven. It's another ambient, free-flowing song. You know, just kind of putting yourself in Mac's mind, and you know, just the fact that, you know, wondering what heaven is like and trying to create a heavenly vibe on a track is a really beautiful thing. And you know, Mac just releasing the whole mixtape, you know, for hitting 1 million fans, you know, I believe on Twitter, you know, it was just, you know, an awesome thing for an artist to do. Like, hey, you know, thank you for supporting me. Here's some more music for you guys. After that, he dropped Macadelic. Macadelic was a hard one to pick one song off of. And some of Mac's projects, there's certain songs that kind of, if you've seen them in person, if you're fortunate enough to see Mac in person, some songs just kind of hit you differently than if you just sat through and listened through the mixtape. Favorite song off Macadelic would have to be Lucky Ass Bitch, just because you have Juicy on the track, and it's a track that I got to see performed live in Pittsburgh, and the energy of the whole concert experience was just phenomenal. A really high energy song that Mac brought to us. After Macadelic, he released Watching Movies with the Sound Off. Favorite track of that album would have to be Euphoria. You know, just another loving track, and you know, Mac, you know, just letting his soul really shine through Euphoria. You know, just gives you that love vibe, and really puts you in a position of where Mac was in his life, you know, at that time. And if you have that special person in your life, anytime you hear that song, if it doesn't remind you of them, then I don't know, it probably should. After Watching Movies, he dropped Faces. Faces is another difficult project just to hit one song, you know, like so many fun, weird, wavy sounds on Faces. Faces is probably my overall favorite project, so this was a difficult one for me to pick, but I would have to go with Colors and Shapes. Colors and Shapes, you know, really has helped me through a lot of difficult times in my life, and just kind of reminds you, you know, that everything's gonna be okay, and you know, sometimes you just have to let shit go to like progress yourself. You know, let shit go, let yourself slip. You know, if you play that song on some nice speakers, like, such a beautiful ambient track, honestly. Definitely one of my favorite tracks. After Faces, he dropped Good AM. Good AM, this is where we definitely start to see like Mac really, you know, as he says on the album, be at the top of his game. It's a very true statement. Very blessed to see this album performed at Stage AE in Pittsburgh. Going back to that moment, it was just that concert. He came out, performed for about 2 hours, didn't want to get off the stage for Pittsburgh, really put on probably one of the best shows that that man has ever put on for his hometown. My favorite song off of Good AM would have to be Jump. Just seeing that song live, and you know, the stage performance, and you know, the energy that he really brought to Pittsburgh, and just, you know, the message behind, you know, Jump, you know, just another beautiful song. After Good AM, you know, he really got more of the love vibe flowing out of him with The Divine Feminine. Another hard decision to make, to pull one track off of the album, but my favorite track off The Divine Feminine would probably just be, you know, Cinderella. Probably because you really felt like, you know, Mac's vibe, that he's been, you know, trying to wait his whole life to find that one woman that he really wants. And through Mac's music, you can like really tell that, you know, there was a part of Mac that just wanted, you know, to have a family and to like really just sit down and, you know, love somebody and be happy. And that song really shows that, you know, perfectly, I think. And should remind us that we should find, you know, like one special person for yourself somewhere. And then the last album that we're going to touch on in the video is Swimming. Swimming, another difficult task to say one song off of this album. But if I had to pick one song off Swimming, I'd probably have to say Small Worlds. It's just a song that gives you a nice free-flowing vibe that you want to sit in the car and just, you know, sing along to, and you know, remind that, you know, the world is a small place, man. Like, we're a very, very small person on a very, very small planet on a larger scale of everything. And, you know, it's great to remind yourself that, like, hey, you know, it is a small world, man. So I still would love to bring you guys a Circles review. Kind of have been waiting to really let the album simmer with myself before I voiced a strong opinion about the whole thing. A beautiful masterpiece there. And we might honestly bring you some more videos about other projects that Mac has done under, you know, Delusional Thomas, Larry Fisherman, but we wanted to focus on just Mac Miller as being Mac Miller. Overall, just a talented artist. You know, thank you guys for watching, and we're gonna bring you more content soon. Long live Mac. Make sure you check out the site for these Mac Miller inspired t-shirts. We raise money to donate to the Mac Miller Circles Fund every month. We donate monthly for a great cause, and it's a great way to take some of our favorite projects and put them on a t-shirt, and, you know, make sure Mac's music never dies. And it's a great conversation starter. Somebody might walk up to you and say, hey, you know, what's that shirt? What's that mean? What's that represent? And they might not have heard of Mac Miller, and now you can, you know, show somebody and bless them with a beautiful artist that is no longer with us, but his music definitely needs to live on with all of us. Thank you guys again for the support. Thank you for watching. Godspeed.